Any questions?
Yes, if anyone has any questions, they can ask now, please.
So,
Okay.
sir, this is off the base question. Nice explanation. Only one thing which you mentioned offhand. You
Yeah.
said Vishnu was the one person that supported Indra. Who was Vishnu actually, as per
Yeah, as
Rigveda?
far as Ṛgveda is concerned, no, so many devatas is there, and Vishnu is not a very famous devata in the Ṛgveda. Because I have done the ranking enumeration, they were based on the number of references to Vishnu. And Vishnu comes around 12th or 14th popular devata. But still, Indra make a statement that in that particular epic or Aitihasic sutta, Indra make a statement that only among all the gods, only Vishnu supported him. And he was more or less like a lone wolf or an outcast as far as devatas are concerned. So we don't know really, like, because these are all very ancient poetry. But if you want me to, if you want me to identify, I would say that this Vishnu was somewhat related to the Yadu clan, because that is how, like in the literary literature, in the Itihasa, like Mahabharata, Krishna is mentioned as a avatar of Vishnu. And so maybe Vishnu was the Devata who was maybe Kuladevata of the Yadavas, Yadu clan, because Yadus were one of the five Ṛgvedic clans, like five Panchajanas. Purus, so Indra, like how Indra was the Kuladevata of the Bharatas or the Purus, Vishnu could be a Kuladevata or of the Yadus. So that is why in the later Vedic period, the Yadus become more dominant, and automatically Vishnu also become very dominant, right? And in the Puranas, you see the Indra and all are only considered as secondary devatas, and Vishnu is considered as the primary devata. So this kind of transformation also happened when the Yadavas become more powerful. So these are one possibilities I'm just mentioning.
So, sir, I'm just contemplating that during the Rigvedic period, people like Indra, Vishnu, Brigu, these were Brihaspati, these were ancient people.
Yeah.
They were in the past. So,
Yes.
is there a chance that Lakshmi was the daughter of Brigu?
Yeah, but for example, especially for Ila and all, we get full Aitihasic history related to Ila, that she is a daughter of Manu, etc. But for Lakshmi, of course, these all relationships are there mentioned in the Puranas. But yeah, all one thing it can indicate is because in the Sri Sukta, she is mentioned as daughter of Kardama. So there is a Western kind of an origin that can be argued about, because if you want to really understand the connections, there are a lot of for example, Lakshmi have a owl as a symbol. All because Lakshmi is this Uluka Vahana,
Yes,
sometimes you consider the Vahana of Lakshmi is Uluka or
yeah,
owl. And you have a Mesopotamian goddess Inanna. She is
yes,
having owl as the kind of a symbol. But it is not very straightforward, because Inanna rides on lion, like Durga.
hmm,
Durga is also goddess who rides on the lion. So this is not like a kind of very straightforward kind of connections, but a lot of intermixing and blending has happened. So there is, because Mesopotamian civilization is very close to the Indian civilization. A lot of give and takes between the civilization is possible, and they also have a very ancient history. Like, of course, in the Aryan invasion theory, our histories are starting with 1500 BC, etc. But we totally reject that. So our chronology is 3300 BC, origin of early Ṛgvedic period, and a lot of our history continue earlier than the 3300 BC, like Manu, and even Bharata is older than 3300 BC. That means the our lineages continue maybe up to maybe even like 4400 BC, and that is exactly the Sumerians also claim that their lineage, their Sumerian civilization, material culture continue like in 3300 BC, 4000 BC, etc. So there are two you can say chronologically, both Indian civilization and Sumerian civilization, they are there from the 5th millennium BC onwards. There are two very old civilizations, and even before we started recording history, I mean, even the Ṛgvedic poetry emerges as per our chronology in 3300 BC, even though we have history before that. Even that period also, Mesopotamian have their own settlements, etc. And they have excavated it. I mean, basically, they don't have any literature like Ṛgveda, but they have excavated cities, which are like 3300 BC or 4000 BC, etc. And there,
Right.
the goddess Inanna is having some representation starting from 3300 BC and 4000 BC, etc. That is the current archaeology says. So maybe there is some kind of fusion happened, and so we have goddesses Lakshmi and Durga sharing some kind of symbolism with the Mesopotamian Sumerian goddesses.
Yes, sir. So the reason why I asked that question was that though it's not mentioned directly anywhere in Rig Veda, but is it possible that Indra, Vishnu, Bhrigu, all these Angiras, they were all in the same timeline in the ancient time?
Yeah, yes. It is possible because Bhrigu is considered as one of an ancient person. Even in the early Rig Veda, the sixth mandala also Bhrigu is very ancient. Indra is very ancient. The other person you mentioned,
Angiras.
Angiras is very ancient. So all of these people are mentioned as whatever memory recollection of the rishis who are authoring in the sixth mandala, they themselves recollect these people as in their memory as very ancient. So all of them are very ancient, but within the word ancient, how much ancient each of them, we don't know. But in a general category of them being very ancient, yes, they are all very ancient. Manu is also very ancient. Ela is very ancient. Nahusha, Yayati, Pururava, Sayus, all these ancient kings are very, very, very ancient. But between them, how much is the ancientness? We don't know.
In any other literature other than Rig Veda, I know Avesta came afterwards, but in any other literature, is there any mention of either of these Bhrigu or Angiras or Vishnu or Indra?
Yeah, yes. Our problem is that Rigveda is the oldest literature. So every other, like for example, our Puranas or Itihasas, they have related. See, from maybe comparatively, like after Rigveda, the oldest one would be some of the Brahmanas, etc. will be a little bit, or other way, means even Yajurveda will be like considered as not as old as Rigveda, but maybe somewhat comparably older. So Yajurveda and Samaveda, Atharvaveda, everything, these rishis are mentioned, and they are mentioned very ancient. And a large amount of Aitihasic narrative about them is found in the two Itihasas. Of course, they are mentioned as very ancient. Bhrigu, all this mentioned as Manasaputra. So that itself means they are very ancient.
Persian literature, or Chinese literature, or any other Mesopotamian literature, anything? No.
The other for example, our situation currently is that in terms of huge amount of data, we have only Rigveda for all the civilization, not only for Indian civilization. Even if you look at Mesopotamian, Chinese, or any other comparable civilization, you only have Rigveda from that ancient period. Others are like, for example, Mesopotamian. What is their advantage is that they invented writing much earlier, or maybe better word to say is that instead of our system was like recitation and memorization. Instead of that methodology, they followed the methodology of writing things. Because of that, some of the earliest writings are there in the Mesopotamian, the Sumerian civilization. Compared to Indian civilization, they are having some ancient information in written format because they carved it on their tablets and on stone, etc. But because of the same reason, they have very little data. So, for example, as a data analyst, if I extract the data from Rigveda and similarly extract data from Sumerian tablets or some Chinese artifacts, that will be like 1:100.
Yes.
Rigveda have 100 times more data
later than that. Right,
compared to Mesopotamian or Chinese civilization.
right, right. Yeah,
100 or 1000, it may be 1000 more times the amount of data we have.
I guess. Yes, yes. That was the power of the oral transmission. That is
Yes,
like,
yes.
yeah.
Many people don't understand it because they think that writing is the biggest, highest achievement of a civilization. But now you look our civilization. We have very ancient information, hundredfold, 100 times more data we have of the ancient period compared to Mesopotamian or Chinese civilization, even though they recorded everything. And our
Right.
civilization is still surviving. The other civilizations are lost.
Another, sir, one thing, it's a request that, all these maps where the ancient names of the rivers are there, and in our present Bharatvarsh, where there are the present names rivers with the northern side of the Bharatvarsh. So, can you give us a map, something like a comprehensive map, like a proper one with the ancient river names and the modern river names together at one place? I just wish to take a printout and study it. That's why.
Yeah, yes. Many people have asked me, like, for example, in the Mahabharata, because there is a data inside the Mahabharata is very huge. I don't have any place to give two names. Like I give a Sanskrit name and the English, the current today's name also. There is no place to put it. But at least for Rigveda, the data is not that much intense. I can actually create that map and share to all of you. Currently, the Rigvedic names are mentioned. In the maps, the Ṛgvedic names are mentioned. Sometimes the Aitihasic name also, because there are three sets of names. One is the name in Rigveda, for example, Parushni.
Right.
The Ṛgvedic name. Iravati is the
Right.
Aitihasic name. So in the Mahabharata, you will not see the word Parushni. The same
Right.
river is mentioned as Iravati. And the same river today it is mentioned as Ravi.
Ravi.
Three
So,
sets
sir,
of
is
names
it possible that all three names can come together at one place somewhere? So, one comprehensive data that this river is called this also, and this also, you know?
Correct, correct. So some of my maps will have it actually. I mean, if you read my book,
I don't
wherever the
know.
space is there, I have put all the names together, three names together. If you
I know,
look
but
at the
we
maps
don't
in my
see
book.
the proper India map, like, the present India, the Bharat map. And like, so it becomes very, like then I have to sit with the other map. If it's possible, we would really appreciate. So,
Ah, yeah, yeah. So just I will show you one of the maps. I don't know whether this is a misbehaving the screen share. I just
yes, sir. But like we know that this is in somewhere near Kashmir or left side of Kashmir.
correct,
So
correct.
we don't see the boundaries of the you know of the cities or the states and
Ah,
the present Bharatvarsha
correct.
and beyond.
See, here if you look at this map, right?
Yes.
This is the Jammu Kashmir boundary, right? Jammu and Kashmir boundary, and
Yeah.
this depression you are seeing in the Kashmir Valley.
Hmm.
I have given the district boundaries also, right? District boundary is there. So
Okay.
this is Haryana, right? This is Haryana. Haryana is there. This is the Punjab, and you can see the district boundary also here. But of course, there is here. Okay, in the Haryana, I have not put a district, but I think here it is there because it is a border state. So and you have the other names. For example, it's very anyway. This is low resolution. There is Satluj mentioned here. There is Shadadru mentioned here, and the
Yes. Yes.
Vedic name Sududri is mentioned here. Here
Okay, sir.
Vipash is the Rigvedic name, and here it is mentioned Bias. This is
Okay. Okay, sir. I
this is Ravi, and here is Iravati.
So if the organizer could say, like share this map or whichever, in the group, so then we can download it.
Map is there in my book, and I have also published it in a website. I can give that link. I will share it with the Amrita
Okay.
organizers,
Right.
and because for Rivers of Rigveda, I have published all my maps for free for everyone to see it.
Okay, sir. I've got the book. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Along with the book, I have also published a website. Only the maps alone I have published,
I see. Okay.
where
Okay.
you can maybe zoom and see it more
Hmm.
clearly also if you want. So three
Yeah,
names
so
are mentioned in three names are already there. The three sets of names for all the rivers are there, but the
okay.
fourth are maybe for Asikni is main very big, but other Chandrabhaga and Chenaba are very small here mentioned here.
Right. So yes, so it will be nice if we get the website name, so we'll check it out.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, sir.
Sir,
yeah.
is there an identification of which herb is actually Soma?
I have done, see, whatever current understanding, because Soma research is some other, I am not an expert in that area. I was completely focused on geography, but I have included some results of the research about Soma by some other researchers in my book. So there are so many names come up, like ephedra is there, and some other plants growing in that region. So my contribution into the Soma identification, this is a big research area, that's what I'm saying. The Soma identification research, my contribution is that I straight away gave the Sukta number and the verse number where it mentioned this is the blessed place the Soma will be grown, that Arjige and Sushoma. And I identified the rivers Arjige and Sushoma clearly. So it comes to around the western side of the Kashmir in the Pakistan side. So I give a geography for it. And of course, Sindhu River is another, the entire course of Sindhu River, especially the upper course of the Sindhu River, because of which it is called Rasa River also, is again another candidate, I mean, not candidate, it's directly given in the Ṛgveda. So people should look at those areas more closely, and then they can, even if there are some confusion in the identification of the actual plant, the Ṛgveda directly tell you that now either the best Soma is there in Artikia and Sushoma River, that is Sohan River and Sil River in the two tributaries of Indus in the northern Pakistan area. So whatever plants growing in that region, they can study a little more closely. And then the Indus River itself, which is flowing through Upper Kashmir Valley, through the Ladakh, the lake, and then northern side of Kashmir Valley, and then flowing into the northern side of Pakistan, and that much area they have to explore it. Pretty much so many stimulant plants are identified in that location. It's not like people have not done it, but some people are doubtful, primarily because of the Rasa River, because they identify Rasa in Russia and Europe, and then they started expanding their study into Russia and Europe. So at least they can avoid that and put all their energy into the Indus River region, and then intensify the research. But whatever plant names which is currently very much good candidate, I have mentioned in my book. Just a minute, Soma. The Soma plants, ephedra is one of them. And the kind of conditions required is like it is a stimulant. It's not an alcohol kind of thing, which will decline your ability of your minds. So that is one important criteria to identify the Soma plant, because many people consider it as alcohol and then goes in an opposite direction. Just if I can search. I have given the names actually, because I don't remember that name memory, but if you can read my book on the Soma, right, I given some examples of the latest cutting edge research on the Soma plant, and what are the latest plants which are identified as Soma plant itself. And it's also very much important, like if you can recreate the Soma, it will help in a lot of, because it is considered a stimulant. Means your eyes will your eyesight will increase, your hearing will increase, all your five senses will work 10 times better. Direct opposite of alcohol. So the answer is like now current candidate for answering like which is the best. Is there any identification which herb is actually Soma? So ephedra is one. One more thing I can say, because they are mixing inside the plant extract, they also mix honey and milk. That directly in the Ṛgveda they mentioned. Then they are also mentioning some special herbs, and I consider it as mushrooms. The Ṛgveda is not telling that, but a lot of research say that you inside the Soma there is some mushroom elements are mixed in that, and then only it become proper Soma. So we can say that directly the Ṛgveda is mentioning water from the Soma growing rivers, Soma extracts, then milk and honey, And the fifth ingredient, the secret ingredient, is mushroom. We don't know which kind of mushroom it is.
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Okay, with that note, let's close the session for
Yeah.
today. Thank you so much, everyone, for the interactive session. Thank you so much, sir. So let's wind up the session with the Shanti Mantra. Om Lokaah Samastaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaah Samastaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokaah Samastaah Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.